Hello and welcome to Hellbent Holler Live. It looks a little different today. I don't know if you can tell or not, but we are not in our regular studio, and you will see why in a second. Kim Treasure, $20.
Roof.
So
Thank you, Kim.
We are, let me introduce myself first of all. My name is Jessie Doyle.
Hi, Jessie Doyle. How are you?
Hi, this is Joe Doyle. Hi, Joe Doyle. Oh, Jesus. All right. Welcome to the show.
I'm a little dark there.
You're what?
Are you? Dark there.
Going to be some adjustments we'll have to make here. We have not done the show in here since
Halloween.
Last Halloween, we did a special in here. We are in the library / parlor of our house.
That sounds so fancy.
It is fancy.
The parlor.
You see, we have a house that's over 100 years old. And with that also comes ceilings that cave in our studio. So the ceiling caved in our studio.
We've had massive amounts of rain here pretty much over the last, 18 months. And we developed a roof leak and the ceiling is coming in. So
yeah.
We're not in the usual studio. So anyway, that's out of the picture. So we had to relocate to the front room or the parlor, as Jessie likes to call it. Thank you for that, Okie. We appreciate you, my man. And then MK Ultra says for the Flex Seal Fund.
Yeah, we were supposed to have a guy come out today to look at that roof. But alas, he did not. Hopefully we have somebody tomorrow. But we're going to be doing the show from the parlor, I guess.
Yeah.
This is going to be some parlor tricks here. We're going to be doing the show from the parlor until we get that room done because the floor's ruined, ceiling's ruined, roof's ruined. Yeah. So the entire studio just caved in. So there's that. That's okay. We're still here. I walked in there Sunday morning and went, oh my God. So yeah.
Sarge says all decorated for Halloween. I see.
This is kind of what our house looks like.
Most of that's what Jessie has up year round. The spider web.
That is a Halloween decoration. I think everything else is here year round.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of Jason and the Argonauts, so I had to have this skeleton over here. And of course, I have an Oddfellows helmet. There we go. Pointing is correct. I have an Oddfellows ceremonial helmet on him. And he's also got a ceremonial sword with him there. So there you go. A little tour there.
Kim Drescher goes, I love that you have a parlor. Well, I think this is technically supposed to be the living room. And we don't really do a lot of living room stuff. We don't really watch a lot of TV. We don't really have friends. You know what I'm saying? God, we sound pretty sad now.
We've got no ceiling and no friends.
So we basically just put a couple bookshelves in here. And this is like technically like our library area. We've got 2 bookshelves up right now. And then there's an awesome used bookstore that's in our next town over that we hit quite a bit.
Oh, I got a book there the other day that is way cool. Well, the one with
Spear of Destiny we just picked up.
Yeah.
Damn it, I never know which way to go. Spear of Destiny, and then I got I've been wanting to read this for a while. Kindred, Neanderthal, Life, Love, Death, and Art.
You know, with us being in the library, we're right by all of our books and everything. It kind of reminds you that maybe we should do like a suggested reading thing, because
I could do that. I've talked about doing that before. We talked about doing a reading club just so that way everybody can kind of
because we have hundreds and hundreds of books in here. And we have a pretty impressive occult library, I believe.
Yeah, which comes in handy to research.
We're
not in here like summoning stuff. We have it for research.
Although probably should summon like some good luck when it comes to
yeah, we should. Is there
I
like
was
a good
talking
luck?
I was talking to the folks on the Discord earlier about everything. We were kind of talking about the weird happenings that occur. And I was talking about all this weird stuff that we have here at the house. Through the course of our investigations over the years, I am a magpie, as many of you know, and I find things and I bring them home. So I wonder if that tendency that I have to bring home objects from these haunted or cursed locations, I wonder if that is somehow bringing that energy into our home, and maybe there's some bad stuff attached to some of the stuff, and maybe we should,
maybe not bring weird stuff home all the time.
Well, that's not an option. I think what we'll do is we'll just have some mitigating measures that we'll have, and that maybe will help the situation. I don't know.
Our boy Ken says roofing was my trade for 45 years. I can always help. Damn, Ken, you want to come climb on our roof and patch a leak? And let's see here. Thank you for that, Ken. Cryptid Castleberry. Thank goodness no equipment got damaged. Actually, yeah, I had a scary moment where
there was roof debris on top of one of the cameras, and I went, oh, no.
So, but I put them in the, because we live in a real wet part of the country and we are outdoors all the time and getting rained on. Because normally it's just, you get like normal rain. We don't get normal rain anymore. Like we were out Saturday. We were out Saturday and it was like crazy lightning strikes, 60-mile-an-hour winds. We don't get like gentle, like summer thunderstorms. We just get like hellfire and brimstone just raining from the sky. That's like every week now. But we've got a dehumidifier cabinet for like equipment that I put stuff in when we get back. So when we saw this happen, we took the camera and everything like that, and the recorder, because we're using the same camera that we shoot a lot of our investigations on.
Yeah.
We repurpose it for a studio camera. And then the recorder that I use for our parabolic, I use to run our sound through. We're pretty like, eventually we're going to get like dedicated studio stuff, but we've got research equipment and roofs that we need now. But I had a moment where we were plugging the camera up and I put a battery in just to kind of test it and it didn't come on. And I'm like, oh no, if this is already a big enough pain in the butt, if the camera's gone too, I'm just going to lose it. We went out, I already almost lost it last night.
Yeah.
Because we decided to. Anyway, thank you so much for that, Alan. I didn't mean to minimize
you didn't finish your story here about the camera. Can you please finish the story?
Camera's working. The battery was janked up.
Right,
I think the battery got wet.
Now you're going to move on.
So that's $100 instead of like a new camera.
Now
Sony batteries are freaking expensive, dude. So anyway.
Now you can move on to the next part of your story.
So anyway, let's first acknowledge how awesome Cryptid Castleberry is.
Thank you, Cryptid Castleberry.
And the Miranda crew. Thank you, Miranda. We appreciate that.
Awesome. You know what this is?
Thank you so much. What's
this
that?
Is a fund raising your roof. That's what it is.
All right. Thank you for that, Miranda. Miranda, thank both of you guys so much.
Thank you guys. And again, this is not.
So anyway, we keep that. That was good. We were able to get the camera in there and kind of like, if there was any like moisture, get it dried out pretty quickly. Yeah. So after the storm, after we dealt with all this, we were like, all right, we need to get out of the house for a little while. We're going scouting into this area. And we hadn't had like any sleep. We were both just like falling over tired. We went and scouted this area out and it's just a jungle. It is so
jungle. Yes.
So, because what's been happening is in this area, you'll have these like massive storms with heavy rainfall. Rain just gets dumped on it. And then you get like 2 or 3 days of just insanely hot weather and really bright sun. And it's just been the perfect storm for vegetation to grow. So we relocated from that area. We went to another area that got wrecked during Helene to see if we tried to previously get into that area on foot and like whole hillsides were just kind of wiped out. It was just vertical now. And we were just trying to see if maybe,
because we're interested in maybe revisiting some areas that we hit last year. Be careful with this table. We do have a janky table, Joe.
Yeah, we have a janky table.
We don't have a regular table. We're on a fold-up table from Sam's Club. We're kind of going through and revisiting some areas that we've hit in the past and we've explored in the past. Just today, I released a scouting video from that area that we investigated, that we found that arch that a lot of people claim looks like something that was made by the Cherokee Little People. So we've been going through and scouting these areas and kind of reacquainting ourselves with them, seeing how they are now after this insane summer where there's been all of this torrential rainfall and heavy sun. And so the vegetation is insane. So we decided we would go to one of those areas. We were going to try to go to, try to make our way. I'm going to go ahead and say it. We were trying to make our way to the cemetery that was featured in last Halloween's special, The Devil's Graveyard.
So we went in and it is, man, it's like apocalypse now in there, dude. It's just this hellish jungle. And there's like a path that has been encroached upon because it's not maintained, but some runoff goes down the middle of it. So there's like a little bit of like openness to it, just a few feet. But there's an old footbridge in there that has been decaying for like at least the last 10 years. So we go up to this footbridge and we're always going one of these days. And this was like a year ago, but we would always go, one of these days, we're going to come up here and this footbridge is going to be gone. And we're going to have to like try to find a place to ford this river at. And because it's in rough shape. So we get right up to the footbridge and we smell like wood. I mean, we're in the woods, but we smell like lumber,
that hot, fresh lumber smell.
And somebody's dropped lumber in there because it looks like they're going to fix the bridge, which is weird because the trail's not maintained, but I'm not going to look a gift bridge in the mouth.
I've gotten many good shots from the middle of that bridge, the mountains and the stars and the moon. So I'm very happy this bridge is getting fixed. However,
we look at it and we have a quick discussion going, how the hell did they get all this lumber back in here, man? I mean, you can't really bring a side-by-side in there, I mean, so we're standing there, we're looking at the lumber and the lumber is 10 feet from the bridge, the beginning of the bridge.
Yeah.
And Jesse's like in front of me and I go, hold on, let me go first to test the bridge because I'm heavier than she is. I'll go across and make sure the bridge is safe before you get on it. Man, I got past her by about 2 feet and I just looked down. It's not as big as the one from the URAs, but just a big rattlesnake just stretched right across the path.
I totally didn't see it.
Jesse totally didn't. And usually she's eagle eye.
Yeah.
But we're both so just tired and he's just stretched out and his head is up and you can just tell it's like watching us. Didn't rattle, didn't do anything. And I'm like, stand there and I back up a little bit and I'm like going, all right, he's not moving. But the real concerning thing is that we almost just stepped on him. We're tired. We're very tired. So we back up a little bit. We have a little discussion and I go, I want to get a picture of him. So I move back forward and the damn thing's gone. And I don't see where he went to because it's like thick vegetation all around us. And I'm going, I don't know where this rattlesnake's at. And obviously he's not very loud. So let's just slowly back out of here and just call it a freaking day. When we realized that we were just so wiped out and unaware of our surroundings, we were going, all right, we've had a bad week. A rattlesnake strike would make this bad week, this irritating and annoying week would actually make it real bad. So we just kind of like backed out at that point. But we are waiting for that big first freeze to come in.
What's interesting about that area too is it has really not been cleaned up since Helene, and we're talking that was almost over a year ago.
Yeah, almost over a year ago. So
and it still has not been cleaned up. There's been very little trail maintenance out there. Of course, I can't complain too much. I'm not out there volunteering on that trail.
You ain't out there clearing that trail, so
I can't say too much. But yeah, that trail that leads into that wilderness area is pretty rough. But yeah, I mean, you really see how widespread the damage was from that particular storm.
Yes, indeed. Craig the Hunter's in the show. Sorry, just saying, don't turn on damp equipment. No, we took it. We put it right in the dehumidifying cabinet. That sucks all the moisture out. I think it's at like 38% humidity right now. So it kind of got
bucket of white rice.
Yeah, but we got
special thanks also to Patty G Miss Patty G.
Where's Patty G at? Real quick, Ben J, roof support. Thank you. Having no roof in no time.
We are raising the roof.
What sucks is, as somebody had said earlier, like your homeowner's insurance, we're so, I don't think it would, it's just rain damage. It's not like, I mean, that's just probably wear and tear.
MK suggested it was a frozen turd from a
airplane going over
by flight.
But we're terrified to do, they're canceling homeowners insurance in our area, like left and right from everybody. So we're gonna get some money out. Hopefully it's not gonna be too terribly bad. Reverend PC is talking about the blood moon last night. Yeah, well, that's what we were trying to be out for, but you could not see. We need to just go and just film the foliage. You know what I'm saying? Like film the vegetation around here.
The video I released today for members, like I said, it was a scout. It's a scouting video in that area, and that's up in North Georgia, where we've gotten a lot of stuff. But we've been up there before, and we have footage from us up there past summers over the past 5 or 6 years, and it does not look anything like that video I posted today. It's insane. It is so thick, and the snake population is crazy. But you think about like the line of the food
snakes
chain.
are through the roof that we don't have. Yeah, the snakes are bananas out there right now. Lisa had said, "What's up, Hellbenders? I watched the show from last Halloween last night. It was scarier than before."
It's interesting that people are really kind of picking that back up again. Somebody messaged me the other day and said they were watching Ghost of Appalachia. Now, Ghost of Appalachia was at that
City Boy.
settlement.
City Boy.
That was the origination of Joe being City Boy. So that's probably one of the scariest things we've done, and we have not been back to that area since
because after that, Helene came through and wrecked everything.
No, that was before.
That was before Helene, wasn't it? So yeah,
no, Helene was before that.
Helene was before that because
that's why we couldn't access.
We had to go on foot to the cemetery.
Yeah.
God, it all blends
from
together.
The other approach.
Yeah. So
get it together. Now we're quiet. I'm trying to go through the chat and catch up on everything.
Howling Underdog. I'm really interested in the Cherokee Little People investigation. That's something I don't know, man. That's like almost like a bridge too far, but we have found like little footprints out in the.
If you haven't seen that episode, I'm gonna find that episode. I'll link it in the chat. You can watch it at your leisure. But that's an interesting episode because we find this really small, intricate, woven arch, and it's woven around a holly tree. There's a live holly tree there, and then there's all these sticks just woven into it to form this arch. And directly in front of the arch are two small spirals on the ground made out of quartz. A lot of that is gone now. You can see in that update that we did today, but it was just a very interesting find for sure.
Yeah, it was.
But it was very small. Like it was so small that I had to bend down to go through it.
And we found like small footprints up in that general area before. And people have always been like, "Well, it's juvenile Bigfoot," and I have the exact same answer. I'm like, "Where are the freaking adults at? If that's what it is, where are the adults?" It's like some sort of like Bigfoot Lost Boys type thing going on there, where it's just all these like juveniles with like no adult stuff around them at all. But you have these small footprints, you have these small structures, and then there are stories of like the little people living in those mountains through there. Little people, and then fire breathing demons is like some equivalent of that, which we have not seen or even found anything for, but the little people definitely.
All right, I'm putting that link to that. After the show, if you guys want to check that out, we did that last year actually. In that area, and it was almost, I would say, it was right at a year ago. We did the investigation out there. Shortly after that, we went further into the area we go into in North Georgia, and we got that thermal of that thing looking over the hill at us, kind of peeking at us. So, and we actually found that tangle of brambles up there.
Sorry to say, you rewatched your Esty session last night. That's the spookiest thing you've done. Yeah, that is.
The kin, we still haven't figured out anything about that, what that meant.
We haven't been able to get back.
I think it's been so it was so shocking for us to kind of experience
that. Was an extremely tense like night. That was because you can hear when Jesse starts going into the Esty session, you can hear stuff start to pick up around me, like voices and like just various like sounds start to like build around us. That is probably one of the most tense nights I've ever had, because Jesse's like blindfolded with like noise canceling headphones on, pumping that spirit box into her, so she can't see or hear anything.
Yeah.
And I talked about that a couple of weeks ago, that I was just like, I had a moment going, if something takes me right now, she's not even gonna know I'm gone.
And we've kind of come up with an idea.
Yeah, we got an idea to kind of
help with that situation, because that was a pretty dangerous situation where I'm blindfolded. I have noise canceling headphones on. I have this spirit box playing in my ears, turned up so high I can't hear anything. I can't see anything. I'm not aware of what's going on. You are so far from me. You were probably 20, 30 feet from me.
About 20 feet.
Because you were filming. Yeah. And so if you were just snatched, just plucked from.
You said something. I'd have to rewatch it, because I sometimes have paranormal fatigue where we lived it, you know what I'm saying? But then something else weird happened like a couple of weeks later. So you just kind of, you said something came through the box to you, and it was something weird, but I remember just my voice going, Jesus Christ. I had this moment where I literally hit I hit tension overload. And I just remember just going, Jesus Christ. I didn't know where to look at. I didn't want to like take my eyes off of you to make sure you were okay, but I wanted to look over my shoulder.
Right.
You said something like we're near or something like that. And I'm just going, oh, Jesus.
There are several things that I said that flipped you out.
Yeah.
They are the following.
Okay.
The kin.
The kin was weird.
He's coming.
The beautiful one.
The beautiful one.
Yeah.
Or the most beautiful one.
The most beautiful one. Yeah.
And you flipped out because that's a possibility that could refer to Lucifer.
Yeah. The kin is still weird though. And you know what? We've even looked into legends and lore of that area, and we can't find anything that matches up with the kin. So I don't know what that is. But then again, can you trust everything that comes through that box?
Yeah.
That's the thing. So Michael Tovar for the roof to keep Bigfoot from peeking through.
Did you get Ben J roof support?
I did. Yeah, I did get Ben J, but give him again. Thank you, Ben. So
thank you, Michael.
But we got like everybody coming in tonight.
It's a roof run.
It is a roof run. Yeah, the audio was whatever was around us. We'd been in that cemetery before. And got weird vocalizations coming around us because you're on a hill in that cemetery.
What was the one we did? The first one we did out there was Full Moon Among the Dead.
Yeah, Full Moon Among the Dead.
That was the first one we did out there.
And we caught some pretty wacky audio.
What was the other one? The other one was Voices in the Dark.
Something.
Voices in the Dark. I love my esoteric titles. I think the first one we did was Full Moon Amongst the Dead. Second one we did up there was Voices in the Dark. And then the third was the Devil's Graveyard.
Yeah.
That's such a freaky area.
But
that's over a span of 6 years we've done that.
Yeah. But it's that area just comes alive, man. And before the cemetery, it was hard to get to, but it was a lot easier before the hurricane came through. And the cemetery was old, but you could tell that somebody was coming up every so often and kind of at least cutting back some of the vegetation. Probably somebody who's, had a relative buried there from a couple of generations ago.
That particular cemetery only has, I think, 3 families represented in it.
So, but then when that was happening, you just felt like you were in a fishbowl, because you're on this like hill and it's kind of clear, and then there's thick vegetation and trees all around you. So I'm always just like, something could just be like watching us from like anywhere up here. It can see us, we can't see it. But then when we went back and it had gotten wrecked and there were like trees down all over it, that was even like worse, because your line of sight was so like abbreviated. You couldn't really see that far at this point. So, but that is a very weird area. There's stories that come out of there. There is
And
There's legends going back generations up there, but nothing about the kin. Though.
Nothing about the kin. What's interesting is we kind of stumbled upon that cemetery the first time we found it. We were coming up through that area. We had gotten some reports in that area. And so we were just investigating out there. That is not far from where probably one of our first, not our first 2 episodes, but probably our 3rd or 4th episode that we ever put on YouTube. Was it 4 Toes Deep in North Georgia or something like that?
We had the goofiest titles back then. So
I'm glad that I can remember these.
4 Toes.
That was my only time I tried to
cast a print
successfully. We actually had to come back to get it because
you still have that cast somewhere
in there on the shelf in the office. But yes, I'm absolutely keeping that one forever. But that was not far from that, and that's an area where we actually experienced something that has something to do with today's topic: Bigfoot and the paranormal.
Rick Skinner, thank you for the new sunroof. Rick Skinner, and then our boy JD Smooth.
Thanks, bro.
The roof and fun. Hope it goes all well. Yeah, and like I said, we're gonna. It could have been a heck of a lot worse, and it's pretty much limited just to our podcast room right now.
We definitely had to yesterday just be like, we gotta go. We gotta get out of the house.
We gotta get out of the house for like a bit and just walk away from it, and then just.
I need to sage that.
Then I'm coming in going, please don't tell me more. It's like come down since we can. So thank you for that, buddy. Mr. Booberry goes, the kin sounds like some deliverance stuff. Yeah, that's what. I'll be honest with you. When we had time to reflect upon it, it seemed like backwoods cultish, and quite honestly, that would be an area that would be backwoods cultish type stuff going on back there, back in the day. Like 19th century stuff going on there.
We found some hidden homesteads up there too. That's such a wild area. I really want to I wish we could get back up in there like as quickly as possible and kind of revisit some of these old sites, those old hearths, these old home sites. Because we've experienced some crazy stuff out there. Some of the earliest stuff that we experienced in our journey doing this was out there. That was one of our first areas that we explored and really filmed going into was that area around there. And that's where we experienced lights in the woods. We heard what we assumed was Bigfoot. I think at that time, and we had so much Bigfoot on the brain, that we didn't kind of put 2 and 2 together. And I think both of our view on everything has evolved so much that we see that these paranormal instances coincide with what could be considered Bigfoot activity.
Not today. I'd tag Not Today in a Death Wish post about a week or so ago. Did you have a chance to respond into that post? I've not been on Facebook much, just with everything that's going on with this. Our homie Sue G.
What's up, Sue G?
Everyone buried in one of those old cemeteries is probably kin one way or another. Yeah, like Jesse said, it was 3 families that were up there. And, especially.
Or maybe they were warning us about Ken Lucas.
They saw in the future what
Ken was going to get the banner.
And what Ken was going to do to the banner.
To your side of the banner.
Oh, God.
Yeah. The ghosts were trying to warn us, and now we're having bad luck because we didn't heed their warning.
And now he's gonna try to come fix our roof for us. Looking for more banners while he's here. He's gonna creep around. Ken, I thought you were fixing our roof. Why are you not on the roof? Why are you in our banner closet right now?
Digging out more banners.
Why are you wearing a trench coat and you're in our banner closet? What is going on here?
This just took a turn.
And you'll have to excuse us a little bit, guys. We didn't think we were gonna be able to do the show tonight because of the cataclysm. And then because we were exhausted, and then we were like, we really want to do the show.
Graham.
And we didn't want to push it back. So we pushed it back to Tuesdays the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then we got this done, and we just had this. We were very elated to be able to join you guys tonight. So if we're a little goofy tonight, please just bear with us.
I might even put the helmet on in a minute. You never know.
Yeah. Scorpius, the Ken episode was genuinely scary, and I'm not much of a paranormal believer, but there was a conversation. Also, Ken is how mountain folk refer to relatives. Yeah. And what's weird is that
I'm from Western North Carolina. That's what my granny would say. You don't know what my cousin Slade. He's your kin.
He's your kin. But yeah, and it's weird because that Estes session thing, I understand that people don't believe some of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear what Jesse's hearing. That's just some weird stuff to just spout out. Jesse gets into that thing and just does it. And like weirds. And we've tried the Esty session before and nothing's happened.
Yeah.
We tried it at that old like haunted house when we lived on the holler. And we tried it a couple times and literally, and she's just going, nothing's coming through. This is just nothing. Stuff came through that night, man. I mean, there was and I agree with you. There was like it was conversational. We should really show the equipment that we use for that sometime. We use some Sony noise canceling headphones that are plugged into her spirit box thing that she uses, and then we blindfold her.
That mega spirit box too.
Yeah. And we even like put creepy lights up to try to make it atmospheric. We wanted to try to we want to go with colored lights because it doesn't kill your night vision. And we were going, this looks spooky as all get out. You
giving away them trade secrets there, Joseph?
Well, let's just heighten it. Let's heighten the emotional portion of it then. But it is that is one of the nights where I'm literally just standing there going, why am I doing this?
Because it was scary.
It was terrifying for me to be there.
And there was so much destruction in that area from the hurricane. If there was anyone resting there, you would think they would have been roused by such destruction of their resting place being just destroyed. Yeah. A lot of those walls that were around some of those graves were destroyed. Some of the tombstones were knocked over. The hurricane just did a number on that mountaintop because there were some really mature trees that came down just directly in the middle of that cemetery. So I wonder if that sort of back to cataclysm, if that sort of stirred things up out there.
I mean, you hear everything from like just all of these active areas. When you disturb, you hear that in haunted houses when people start doing renovations. Which now that I think about it, we live in a haunted house. You're going to have some renovation work going on there. Is it going to get like weird in here afterwards? But you hear about it too, like in more wilderness settings,
right?
When things happen. Now you don't usually
think about Skinwalker Ranch. They say do not dig.
Yeah, but you have the here you don't usually get that level of like destruction through here. We don't see a lot of like we get like tropical storms. You don't get like really like hurricanes that still pack a wallop. Yeah. I mean, the mountains around here are still recovering. Mm-hmm. And it's weird to go in there and just go, man, just some of this stuff. I mean, it blew old trees over. I mean, that cemetery's been there virtually unchanged for
hundreds of years,
couple hundred years. And then now it's just wrecked. But it's, that's gotta have an effect on like the energy of whatever this stuff is.
Did you hit Curtis Don't Hurt Us?
Let me get Walter Ballard. I wanted for the big blue tarp. I actually have a blue tarp
that we've been chasing around the yard
because we thought the dude was coming out today, and I got to tarp it before I go back to bed. Thank you for that, buddy. So, what do you got from Curtis? Curtis Whitaker. Where's Curtis?
Curtis Don't Hurt Us.
Curtis Don't Hurt Us, my man. We didn't see Curtis past couple weeks. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Thank you. So, Bonnie Blue raised the holler roof. So. Thank you, Bonnie.
Joe's also got the plague.
Got the consumption.
Stop it.
I got the black lung, Pa. But but that ties into the topic for tonight. Like we were talking about Bigfoot and the paranormal. Mm-hmm. Is when we were out this weekend just scouting. I expressed some frustration in our Discord after we got done with this because we're feeling better now that we're all doing the show and we're able to like interact with all you folks. But man, we were like down like the other night.
Gummy bears earlier.
We like literally just, I mean, the frustration level.
We were almost in tears.
I thought I'd lost a lav mic,
a DJI lav mic,
and I just had this moment where it just hit me.
Defeated.
I was just going, I'm feeling very crushed right now.
But I found it.
Yes, you found it. It's just that everything is taking longer than it used to take to do, like as far as like investigation type stuff. Areas that were difficult to get into before are damn near impossible to get into right now, and it's just weird because I thought that. Especially this area we hadn't been to for so long, and we get in there and I'm going, it's worse than it was right after the hurricane.
Yeah.
All the down timber and all the down trees are still there, but now you've got just this jungle like undergrowth. You can't see the snakes. It's just so difficult to traverse through there. The rain has been so insane. And like I said, we tried to go out Saturday and it wasn't like even like a thunderstorm. I mean, it was like crazy lightning. We're from South Carolina, and the Clemson game. Clemson's like a religion around here, you know, what's going on. And they were evacuating people out of the stadium because the lightning strikes
Lightning
were
was
so bad.
striking all around the stadium. Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's every storm we get through here right now. And I know it's everywhere. I know everywhere's having bad weather, but it just seems like there's just like an energy in the air right now. Not even a good energy.
JD has a statement about that on there that I marked if you want to get that.
But it's a.
We've also got a couple people who have been members for a while that have little statements on there.
But
something's awry, isn't it?
David says demon box. I don't even know what a demon box
and
is.
it almost seems like, I mean, you've got a lot of stuff going on too, where people are getting very whipped up. It's like their brains are squirming around inside of their skulls right now. People are acting up. People are
acting
short
crazy.
fuses. People are acting crazy.
And you know what? Every generation since the dawn of time has always gone, things are just weirder now than they used to be. And guess what? Maybe they were. Maybe it's progressively gotten weirder. But when we were out there, man, JD is saying, people are saying there's something strange going on in the air. People are feeling strange and really tired all the time. What do you guys think is going on? There's a weird manic feeling when, like, you're, at least it is here. I mean, you know what? Maybe like Indiana's perfectly sane right now.
I don't think Indiana's ever been sane.
That's true. But there's just like
my friend Allie's from Indiana. There's
a pressure in the air, and it's reflected in the weather. It's reflected in the people. It's reflected in a lot of the witness reports we get right now.
And just, well,
I mean,
you have to think too, despite all of our best efforts, we are not removed from our environment. We are part of our environment, whether that be in nature or whether that be in our communities, whether that be in our families. We are part of our environment, whether we think that we are or not. We are. That's just a fact of life. And everything is reflected in that.
There's a charge in the air and like a pressure in the air. And you feel it whether you're in town, you feel it whether you're in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
It's oppressive. It feels oppressive.
Yeah.
I had a moment like when we were out this weekend, and again, nothing crazy happened. We didn't like really see anything other than that damn rattler that nearly got us. But we were there, and I'm going. We're trying to make our way through like really heavy, like just vegetation. And I just had a moment where I stopped, and I just went. I'm like, man, I can't wait for the weather to get like really cold and we can move so much easier. And then I'm just like, I had a moment where I just went, I don't know if I think we're in for a weird fall and winter, and like not necessarily a good, weird fall and winter. It just feels like if there's like a paranormal feel to the air, it's out there right now and it's bad. And I just, tonight we were topic of the show, and we've kind of just veered around like we always do, but is, the Bigfoot and the paranormal. And I have a feeling, and here's what's weird. I have a feeling that a lot of this stuff that we go out and look for is charged right now.
Yeah.
But I kind of had some trepidation. Normally we'd be like super excited. We're in for an active. We're going to catch some crazy stuff. I just had this moment, and it's when we were in and we thought that the field was going to be passable, but instead it's like 8 foot tall vegetation. I just had this moment where I stopped and looked around. You can't see anything because it's plants that are normally like 3 feet high, like right over knee height, are like 8 feet tall, just these stalks. And I just had this thing of just going, I'm really kind of like tense for investigation season to get in. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say fear, but I just had this moment just going.
Apprehension?
Very apprehensive, very apprehensive. Everything seems charged. And I think that if we do have Bigfoot activity this fall and winter, it's going to be weird. It's going to be the weird activity. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be the weird stuff.
Lights associated.
Yeah, the real wooey stuff that a big portion of the Bigfoot community just hates.
Yeah.
But part of the fabric of the Southern Appalachians. You know what I'm saying? That it just feels charged, man. And I mean, again, it's like, maybe it's psychosomatic. Maybe I'm doing it to myself just because it's maybe nobody else agrees with me. I don't know. Maybe everybody in the chat's going, no, they don't feel it, but it feels going into this like there's like the other shoe's getting ready to drop, you know?
Right.
And I just had that moment where I'm looking around and the foliage is like, vegetation's so tall and I can't see. And I'm just like, man, I can't wait for winter to get here. And I just, a moment, the exact thought that was in my head was, I'm going to regret saying that.
Because you have to wonder what else comes with it.
Yeah, but I was like, I'm going to regret saying that I'm really looking forward for fall and winter here because I've got a feeling it's going to be kind of terrifying. I don't know.
What else rides in on that wave?
I don't know. Sploot saying, wait for the fall equinox. The scale should be balanced or reset. Also, lots of volcanic activity across the world affecting weather patterns. We're having a ton of seismic activity through South Carolina, which you don't really,
Greenwood, South Carolina.
You don't really hear a lot. I mean, obviously there's like a fault line through here, but this is not a very seismically active place. There's a lot of like booms going around here that people are hearing that people are just instantly dismissing by saying it's sonic booms because, you know, they build and test like F-16s up near here. It's Donaldson Center. But then they're like going, no, we didn't have any F-16s up right now. We don't know what that boom was. So just these random like mystery booms that are happening. You
guys just miss the days when you could stay home from school and watch Jerry Springer and eat a grilled cheese sandwich.
Is that what you did when you stayed home from school?
That was what I did. It was Price is Right, Jerry Springer, a little bit of Maury Povich.
Our buddy Half Inch Wrench Crew. What's up, my man?
Little beanie weenie. Straight from the can.
How many ticks you guys find it? This has been
chigger season.
Season, but it's been like bad tick season. But what's been bad about it is it's been so hot and humid that if you guys remember those solo things I put out, you sweat through your clothes. You sweat through your clothes. I mean, I literally looked like somebody had dropped a bucket of water.
We have
and
started
using all of the insect repellent started just washing off, and I just got eaten alive.
The repellent we've been using has been pretty good. We do a combination. We've been using bins.
I'm just thinking about it. So.
It did not work when we got attacked by the chiggers that last time. The last chigger incident.
The last chigger incident.
But we've been kind of applying two different types. We can't use is it permethrin we can't use?
We have too many cats. And I know everybody goes, well, you can apply it. You know, let it dry, and then it'll be okay with the cats. I'm not risking it.
We do have a 15-year-old cat.
I mean, she's hanging on by a thread.
And she's what keeps us hanging on by a thread. She's what keeps us good.
But that's where I'm kind of going to is that the other thing I thought of too is that we seem to be, as we're pushing out into and we really even shouldn't be pushing out into the woods right now, to be honest with you. There's like really not a lot of outdoor activity that's taking place.
I've noticed that
in our region right now. You see people doing like off-roading and like off-roading areas. You know, some of the national forests have dedicated off-roading areas. You're seeing that. There's an area where they have some horse trails that are maintained and kept up that you really haven't seen anybody out on. It's just like it's been a weird summer. We were checking a spot and there's a campground, like not a campground, but like a camping area a few miles from it. And we were checking to see what the occupancy level was out there. And hardly anything was like booked. And usually it's like filled up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Usually it's filled up. And it just seems like people, it's like nature and the environment and the weather is just really having its way with us all. And it seems like people are kind of retreating back a lot. Jesse mentioned a few weeks ago, there's that article that came out that it's like summer is starting to become like how winter used to be. Remember winter, everybody just hunkered down and stayed indoors and stayed warm, and
people are starting to cloister themselves more
in the summertime because it's so brutal to be out. And then ticks, like there's a big alpha gal like outbreak in this region right now. Alpha gal is like hitting everybody, and that's where you get bit by the tick. Oh, it's west of us, but it's still the South, but it's, I know a lot of people in the LBL, like Elijah Henderson can't eat red meat,
Yeah.
you know,
And you can take my meatloaf from my cold dead hands.
and so, and it just seems like, and a lot of this is kind of occurring to me as I'm talking out loud about it. It seems like those forces are like emboldened right now. People, at least in like nature areas, are like retreating back, you know?
Yeah.
And,
you could say, I know that, during the height of COVID, when everybody couldn't go anywhere, but they could do outdoor activities, that was kind of accepted and that was okay. That caused a huge influx of people going into the outdoors, flooding all of these areas, all of these trailheads. You had to, with the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, you got to the point where you had to schedule parking to use a trailhead. And a lot of that it's still popular in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, but in the trails that you and I frequent and the areas that you and I frequent, it's not what it once was. And you could say that this is some sort of tapering off, that people are losing interest in outdoor activities, but the region that we're in is very outdoor centric. There are recreational lakes everywhere. There are trails.
People are still on the water. People are still on the water. Boating is still a big thing, but like the outdoor stuff is like, I had a moment when we were talking about, we were on an old.
We don't want to get too much into being like a weather.
Oh, no. But it's indicative of what's going on right now.
Yeah.
It's, we were trying to work our way up to this area, and we were going to link up with a normal hiking trail briefly. Okay. There was a small spur of it.
Normal human hiking trail.
And it's just gone. It doesn't exist anymore. There's been nothing done to it. And I'm just like, we've kind of just ceded this back. We've given up here. We've retreated from this area. Humanity used to like, kind of like enforce its will upon this little patch of woods and at least have a hiking trail through it. And we've given up. We've lost that battle. We've surrendered that battle. And I'm just going, it just seems like maybe going into this. And here's the deal. 3 months from now, I could be sitting here going, well, I called that one wrong. This has been the quietest fall and winter I've ever had. It just feels like this right now. It just feels like humanity is in retreat in these wilderness areas. And
in more ways than one.
Yeah. And it's just
pretty insightful there, Joe.
Yeah. And it just seems like I don't know. Because some of these areas we're going into, I remember like 4 years ago, even the middle of summertime, you could move through there. You can't move through these areas right now. It's like the topography is completely different. You're going through there and it's jungle-like. It is jungle-like. It is not a forest. You are in and I don't know if it's because so many larger trees got knocked down because of the storm,
right?
And more sunlight's getting through, and like the ground vegetation is thicker, but it is
why you have insane amounts of rainfall.
And then that vegetation has led to the increase in like small mammals, and that's led to the increase in the snake population. But it's like, I'm looking at the stuff and I'm like, this is primordial.
Yeah.
People don't belong in this area that we're in right now.
And I think we speculated about this during one of our more recent episodes that focused on the Dogman phenomenon. Is this why that sightings have been kind of down? You need to
Maybe there's nobody out there to have these sightings.
You got to have certain elements to have a sighting that makes its way to the general public, and that is a creature to be seen, someone to see it, and then some sort of mechanism to report it to.
Well,
and if any of that breaks down in the cycle or the system there, then
you ain't seeing squat. You're not seeing squat in these areas.
No.
Your visibility is like nil. It's nothing. It is nothing. When we were out this weekend,
our thermal is pretty much useless in all the areas
it's useless.
We go into.
Thermal ain't doing nothing.
Because you can't go beyond the foliage that is.
We were going to try to link up the Starlink, and we were just like, you know what? The Starlink might as well just be deactivated at this point.
Yeah.
You can't get a signal out there because the trees are also, I don't know, man. It just feels weird out there. It just feels, and again, this is just the Southern Appalachians we're talking about. Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. The whole area is just crazy. I don't know, man. And it just feels like people have retreated back because of the weather and the destruction post-storm, and because the and again, we ain't complaining. We ain't maintaining the trails. So if other people don't want to maintain them, I ain't asking somebody to do something I'm not obviously willing to do at this point or have the time to do. But it just feels like people have retreated back. What's taken their place out there? What is going to feel emboldened to act? And maybe it's these things are traveling around out there more often. I know that
does that mean say that people have been forced to kind of cloister in as if it's wintertime, because it's so hot. It's so difficult to traverse the area. It's so difficult to get out there and get into it. So these creatures that maybe inhabit these areas, they're sort of coming closer to the forest edge, as it were. So do you think after we get some sort of frost, some die off, these leaves falling down, when we can actually access these areas, do you think that we might experience an increase in activity when we're out there? Because maybe these things have come further from the center, from the deepest, darkest hearts of the forest, and they've come closer to the edge of the forest where we are going into.
Well, what I want to see is that I want to see how these areas feel charged. They feel charged. I mean, I'm not a very perceptive person, and some of these areas, my skin's crawling, and it's not just from the thought of the ticks. It is I'm just going to some of these areas, and I'm just going, the air feels like electric. The ground feels electric. It feels like there's an electricity just coming out of the ground. And then you got all the seismic activity, but I'm wondering if, I don't know why, I wonder how the Bigfoot activity is going to be in this region, and if it's going to be an active fall, winter, and spring, and if it's going to be a weirdly active fall, winter, and spring. I've just got this feeling that all of this weirdness is going to result in increased Bigfoot activity, but it's going to be the weird Bigfoot activity. You know what I'm saying? It's not just going to be the sighting type stuff. Maybe this will be the winter we get like a Class A sighting on camera.
Well, wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. I mean, maybe this will be the winter that we get. We need visibility.
You think we're crazy now?
I know. God, Lord. We need visibility. We need even like light rain ain't gonna bother me at this point, because we got raincoats. We've got like waterproof cameras, like action cams. We can do that. We just need to not have the crazy. There's just so much energy pouring into the atmosphere. There's energy coming out of the ground. There's just all of this energy. And if this stuff is fueled by that, it's going to be like weird. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we've had 2 summers now of just insane weather events. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Insane weather events. Tons of heat, which is just thermal radiation, energy, seismic activity, radioactive shrimp, radioactive hornets. Wasn't there another radioactive thing
the winter of the weird?
The winter of
as
the weird.
Cryptid Castleberry says.
Oh, I thought you came up with that.
No, sir. It's a Castleberry original.
Even
all right, I've got a ton of
even
stuff.
Not Today says
going through some of this.
Mentioned the math is leaning towards dark matter, antimatter being unprocessed qubits. They quietly announced the Big Bang was triggered by an offset of antimatter and matter. Odd, ain't it? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what it just feels that there is a sinister energy building up. And I know we're being dramatic. It felt pretty dramatic when we were out there. You know what I'm saying? Like scouting around, it feels dramatic out there. It feels oppressive. It feels like something's getting ready to just come right out of the friggin' ground, like right in front of you. I don't know. I just think that it's going to be I just think that we are, and it seems like too, if you look at it, we seem like we're naturally, we're talking about doing Bigfoot investigations, but then we're unconsciously gravitating towards areas that are paranormally associated.
Yeah.
Graveyards, old settlements, the stuff we usually look at, but areas that
And
we've had.
something about these areas is sort of drawing us in right now. Like we've not been up in that area where we did the Devil's Graveyard in a very long time, and we had this inclination that we need to get back up there.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. We just have this strange inclination that is drawing us to that area that I feel like I need to get back up there. I don't know why.
Well, Pork Chop asked that same thing. Any greatest hits investigation spots you're thinking about going to after it gets cold? Yeah, quite a few. But what's weird is we're talking about doing Bigfoot investigations, but then all of a sudden we're like, oh, we need to go look for Bigfoot in this area. And it's an area where we've experienced what could be considered paranormal activity. And I'm going, why are we like being drawn to these? And when I'm saying drawn, just through conversational, it's it's very much on our minds to go into these areas to look for Bigfoot, but we really haven't experienced Bigfoot activity there, but we keep going now.
Think about this. Think about in the Devil's Graveyard, those vocalizations that you caught all around us. You don't know what that was. You didn't lay eyes on what was making those sounds.
Yeah.
Could it be something paranormal? Because was there something paranormal going on there? Something was definitely communicating with me through that Estes session.
Yeah.
But there was also physical beings of some kind making sounds around us.
Yeah.
So they don't have to be mutually exclusive. They can be happening at the same time in the same area. And I think that's what we're talking about today. That you could have these areas that are highly charged areas that have this energy, that have this history, that have this memory on the land. And maybe that energy, that kind of thing draws in Sasquatch. Maybe it is a part of that wavelength and understands that and sees that and is drawn to those areas. You have to say places like the LBL would be like that.
Well, South Carolina's like this now. You've never heard about South Carolina in the news like ever. You know what I'm saying? And now radioactive hornets. Well, we had another wave of earthquakes in the area. We've just had all of this like weird stuff. Disappearances are on the rise in certain areas.
Definitely around here.
To the point where people are openly talking like on Facebook and in the comment section of news stories going, do we have a couple of serial killers working in this area? Because people are just disappearing without a trace.
Yeah.
I even messaged one of the ladies going, because I'm going, I didn't see anything online about this, is there a serial killer hunting South Carolina?
Not to mention that, the Table Rock disappearance.
Yeah, the Table Rock disappearance and everything like that. And this lady is going, oh, it's not, they won't do a news story, but the people that have been here your whole lives, we've been talking about it for the past like several years, that it seems like there's a couple of serial killers. I'm going, couple of serial killers? Why do you think? Well, I just don't think it could be one person. And I'm going, all right. It just seems like in this area, we didn't have this weirdness 5 years ago here. You know what I'm saying?
Not to this level. I think it was more, you and I could talk about weird topics, and it was very fringe. It was very niche.
Yeah.
We had a smaller audience. I think there was a smaller audience out there. There was less people interested in this sort of thing because it wasn't in their faces as much.
We're getting recognized.
It wasn't part of everyday life as much as it is now. Now it's part of everyday life that you've got these strange happenings. You've got conspiracies.
We're getting recognized at gun stores.
Yeah.
That's happened twice now.
Yeah.
So,
you're finding out that these things that people speculated about that were fringe ideas once before are now realities. We're seeing that these things are real. Some of these conspiracies that people speculated about for years, that they're actually, the proof is there. And that's kind of shattering everybody's worlds right now.
Becca's in the chat, by the way. Scribe. The half-inch wrench guys have got a place called the Killing Fields that they have investigated. We've watched some of those videos before. He was just talking a second ago that the Killing Fields, he goes, the place is so big that a big team would go a long ways.
Yes.
We ought to really kind of try to
I would love to do that.
If regular life calms the hell down. And I just always wonder, are the weird stuff like the roof and all that. We are getting a ton of rain and everything like that, but we just need all that to calm down so we can start expanding.
I thought you were going to speculate it. Never mind. I'm not going to go into what I thought you were going to speculate.
But We
I was like, all right, let's back the main character syndrome up, but no, you're not.
no, oh no, absolutely not. I'm not.
Like,
Oh no, I'm not saying it's coming for us. It's centered around us. No, I'm not saying that on the slightest. I'm not saying that like the universe is like throwing, is like, well, all of this, we've caused all of this. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that we're noticing that
we but a boat that causes a wave.
Our area is really weird right now in almost every metric.
Yeah.
I started to say this earlier. Even the witness reports that we're like getting via email
are a little.
Some of them seem a little unhinged. You know what I'm saying? Like people are like holding on by a thread. That's not dogging anybody. I just think that everybody's kind of feeling it. Everybody's just kind of getting kind of a certain manic energy to them.
Think about how nuts the whole Laurel Creek incident shook out to be. I mean, I think that was a Banana Town situation. Welcome to Banana Town. The Laurel Creek incident was definitely a Banana Town. That was a weird encounter. And then the people that were involved in the encounter got weird with us. What? Oh.
Was this recent? Was it like tall and kind of like stooped over and like back and neck and then the head kind of sloped? Was this recent, Roberta? Please let us know. That is, yes.
I have something I saved I want to show you. I'll pull it up when I find it here if you want to be on that.
Hairless made a god-awful cry. What we saw didn't make any sound. Not recent. Okay. I need to trim my beard. I do that much right now. I'm seeing this in the thing. But
stay on task.
So I don't know, man. I mean, what are you guys seeing in your area? I mean, it's to the point where, like I said, I'm kind of I'm very much looking forward to it, but I've got some apprehension about going out hardcore like we do. I mean, I want the weather to end and I want the vegetation to kind of like go back a bit so we can traverse these areas and see what's around us. But I'm kind of apprehensive about it too, for some reason. There's like an expectancy. There's like a feeling of like it's coming. I don't know. But then again, am I just like wigging myself out? Am I looking at a lot of like unrelated things that just happen to be happening at the same time and it's affecting me mentally to feel that way? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So
wanted to show you something. I'm going to
show me something.
So this is a Reddit post that popped up, and it popped up last night. I was looking at it. I could not sleep last night. This popped up, and I thought I would share it with you because it's kind of disturbing. And I thought you would find it interesting. Here we go.
All right, what you got?
Take a look at
Whoa!
That. So, wife keeps seeing this.
Where is this at? Is this like a recent Reddit?
4 days
ago?
Yes, 4 days ago.
Round the nose a little bit there, guys. Like the nose, not so sharp, more rounded.
So let me read
That's what we saw on the LBL.
Let me read this to you, please.
Okay.
A small boy-sized, blacker than black, spindly shadow creature. She first said she saw it run behind 4 trees in the forest. Thought it looked like a small boy, but she said the limbs would just be all over the place. It moved fast, and she could see it in her peripherals. She saw it outside our window on the street. She dreamt of it last night. In her dream, it was blocking her way down the stairs. It said in her mind, "Your husband is wrong. I am real." Anyone heard of something like this before? It's freaking me out, and I don't know where to start.
Holy crap.
She says she's not scared of it, but it doesn't seem nice.
Go up so we can look at this photo a little bit. The hair is standing up on my friggin' arms. Remember how I've talked to you guys in the past when we've talked about the things we saw in the LBL near the tents and the cemeteries, the thing that made Jesse kind of they're just
collapse.
Fast. You just see them like split. I took off after one of them, and that's the one that I always talk about. It moved the branches, but it didn't follow the lay of the land. And how it looks like it has like extra joints. I've said that in the past on live stream.
And the
long fingers and the arms that are just like this. That's bizarre. But what I saw, the nose was more like if you took that and you bent the nose down like a little bit, the nose was like, I guess, bent rounded's not the right word for it. That's crazy. And what we saw was about man size, like human size. That's crazy.
Yeah. That popped up. I saw it last night. It was like 3 a.m. I couldn't sleep. I'm laying there.
Why did you not wake me up and show me this?
Because you have not slept in days as it is. So no. But yeah, is that not crazy? As well, I saw the image first and then I read that and I went, oh my God. Yeah. Isn't that talk about Banana Town?
People were talking about because some people had mentioned that there was a Native American creature that was very close to that. That's wild. Did she draw that, or is that like AI?
It's probably AI generated. There's no information
she just put in
about
prompts for it.
I don't know. It's not.
Of course, it's Reddit. People are just making fun of it.
Of course,
in the comments.
Classic shadow person, but these
That's
are
not
very
a classic shadow person.
These are very specific traits. If you're talking about a shadow person, even if you're making a prompt in Reddit, you're going to talk about it being a humanoid. This is a humanoid shape, but there is some very specific things here. The long limbs, the long fingers,
the extra joints.
The extra joints. This is very specific. As soon as I saw that, I flipped out.
Heaven Trench asked like a beak. It's the thing that I saw. The nose was like.
The thing I saw wasn't huge.
No, well, the thing I saw was. Now I saw it at a distance. I've only seen it once, and it didn't seem child-sized. It seemed bigger than that. It wasn't huge. I wouldn't say that it was like maybe between your size and my size.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, about that size.
Yeah, but I mean.
One person says, get a carbon monoxide detector immediately. Ghost sightings are often early indicators of carbon monoxide poisoning.
Is that in the Reddit thing or is that on our chat? That's the kind of.
That's in the Reddit thing. Solved.
Now, Roberta's saying that what she saw was pale. Now, what we saw was not. That's wild, man.
Some people are suggesting it's an elemental.
It was bad. It's bad, whatever it is. Those things are bad. And we don't, like I said, this is probably the most we've talked about it.
But I thought you'd find that interesting.
Because we don't have footage of it. We've never gotten footage of it. I don't know.
Reaction.
I don't know if you could get footage of these damn things. The thing I saw was like so. And not today's got a thing. A 4 or 5 dimensional being wouldn't be something we can see, but they'd cast a shadow due to their matter. This thing seemed like. Like a hologram. It just didn't seem like the environment affected it or slowed it down, and it didn't follow the lay of the land, but it moved the branches. There was some sort of like substance there for it.
It's almost like it's here, but it's not.
Dead in Yard Hunt says he's like your Halloween decorations. It's a high praise coming, but that's bizarre, man. So you've saved that post, or Kurt? Thank you so much for that. We appreciate you, Kurt.
Thanks, Kurt.
Kurt. We appreciate you. Thank you. That's wild, man. Well, I mean, are things like that going to be seen a lot more now? I mean,
some people are
as far as we know, those things. We've never really had anybody like say that they saw those things in the LBL like we did.
Yeah.
And that's why this is the most we've ever talked about it publicly, just because of that. Because there's not really a history of reports of those things there, and we didn't get them on. I mean, I didn't get them on camera, and I had my camera running.
Yeah.
And I didn't, by the time I turned around, it was gone. So for people to go, you didn't see anything, you just imagined it. I don't have no retort to that because we didn't get it on camera. So for all practical purposes, it doesn't exist in the Hellbent Hollerverse. We didn't get it on camera.
Yeah.
But we've gotten our reactions to. I mean, I don't know, man. And that's wild. All right. Wild.
Well, this is
EDP says that's what Reddit always says.
The carbon monoxide, is that an ongoing thing?
But the thing that I always like talked about is at least what I saw, it seemed like there's too many joints, and the way the limbs flowed
like that.
And that is except for the nose, a damn good and it seemed like, and I always say it doesn't seem like it's something you'd read about in a cryptid book. It seems like something out of like Dungeons and Dragons or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
I'll put it back up here so you can kind of look at it again.
And what I always thought it had like tattered clothing, because you'd see like tendril type things, not like tentacles, but like weird
is that
things fluttering
as
around
soon as
like
and
that.
the look at the backwards. Here's the other thing too.
Not like a dog's knees, but like an extra
that is
the
what
extra
I saw.
joint.
What is
Well, look at
that?
the arm right here, even where that wrist is at. That's what I always looked like. That there was like a mid forearm joint there that, or some sort of weird like flexibility like there. That's
Yeah.
bizarre.
Yep. So that was posted.
Do you want to try to get in touch with that person that posted that on Reddit? To
Perhaps.
talk to him?
Sure.
So,
But this was posted. Let me see. Let me take this off here. Let me take a look at it. It is. It's on the Reddit Paranormal Encounters, and it's from 4 days ago. Yeah, that popped up last night, and I went. I flipped out. I'm gonna be honest with you. I flipped out, but I was not waking you because you've not slept in days. So,
yeah, we haven't gotten a lot of sleep. All this stuff going on.
But Kim Drescher has one. Edgar Casey, the sleeping prophet, what maybe 70 years ago, made a prediction about something coming in September of 2025. Edgar Casey is buried in Hopkinsville, the site of the Hopkinsville Goblin attack, which you can read all about in Dewey Edwards' latest book,
Ooh,
10 Hours of Hell by Dewey Edwards.
That's a pretty damn good segue.
Well, that's a good plug, sir.
That is a good plug. Dewey Edwards, let's just completely switch gears. Lost Contact from Small Town Monsters.
Yep, it's coming.
It's coming out.
October 7th.
And that movie could not happen without the Dooster.
Mm-hmm.
The Dooster did more research on this topic, and that
which he features in his book, 12 O'Clock High, the Thomas Mantell story. It's a tome dedicated to the story.
Where is
it's right there next to the jaw. Next to the jaw, sir.
Which jaw? Oh, down here, yeah.
That pile of bones there.
Let me see if I can. We're so crammed in here.
Jeez.
With this makeshift impromptu.
If you'd like to read about the Thomas Mantell story, you can get Dewey Edwards' book, 12 O'Clock High, from Soggy Bottom Press. There it is. Get your copy today.
12 O'Clock High. But yeah, the movie Lost Contact, which is the STM tie-in to this, is coming out. Finally, Captain Thomas Mantell Jr. UFO chase. But we need to reach out to the person that posted that on Reddit. Even though we've got a lot of stuff going on right now, I'm going to probably reach out tonight. And
so this is interesting too.
Northwest Native Tracker says there's a lot of them in the Amazon. I don't know if that comment is referring to that thing.
This is what's interesting is Stingray, my boy. Not today, Sabin says shadow beings been around in all recorded history. Catholicism calls it transposition, shadows of beings that are there that we can't perceive. We're going to tie all this together here too with Dewey Edwards. Dewey Edwards built me the Hellbent, which is a device that I'm going to use for my contact project, my contact project book that I'm doing. When I have tested the helmet in spurts, when it's on, I can see shadow figures about. When I had it on, you can see them start to come in.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Is that not scary?
That's
so
bizarre.
When we do the hardcore tests, I'm super nervous about that because if we do the hardcore tests, am I going to see like fully formed?
I don't know.
Figures.
You know, Cole says, he goes, I've seen something similar to that here, but it was so fast, it was only a blur. That's what we've seen. It's like literally like,
and you see whoosh. It in this description in this post here that I just shared. You see it in your peripherals. That's where
and then you go and you have like maybe a split second
there and it's not
of like direct sight, or at least I did, and then it's just gone. But it's not even like something you see out of the corner of your eye. It's there. You see it. It's crazy
for sure.
It's there. And the one I saw was near those old buildings in the LBL, and I took off after it, and it's gone. And I kind of shook me a little bit. I'm going, how the hell where did it go to? But it was gone. I mean, it was gone, man, crazy. So, I saw.
We're so bad about staying on topic. It gets very interesting.
Well, here's the deal, and Oki's talking about the Choctaw have story of a large dark creature. And people have mentioned that, and the name of it escapes me right now, which I don't know why I have such a hard time remembering. Choctaw shadow creature.
Maybe it wants to stay out of your mind, so you can't find its weaknesses.
The Nalusaphalaya, that's what it is. The long black being lurks at dusk, sometimes appearing to slither, dissolve into shadows.
That tracks.
Yeah. I mean, and here's the deal too, is that it always pisses me off when people are like, well, you're not in an area like this particular tribe of Native Americans have a story for
This
these
is
creatures.
Joe's portion of what grinds my
What
gears.
grinds my gears. And let's say like the Choctaw, we're in like an area where mostly Cherokee, and Catawba. Just because the Choctaw were experiencing these creatures and had a name for them didn't mean that these creatures were like going, okay, we can't go anywhere where there's no Choctaw at. If the Choctaw were experiencing a real creature and a real phenomenon that exists independently to the Choctaw, to say that this creature can only be talked about in an area where Choctaw is basically is just implying that the Choctaw made it up and that it's not a real creature. It's kind of freaking insulting. Just because they were the ones to basically define it and do the best job explaining it does not mean that it's relegated solely to their territory. I don't know, man. That's wild. So that is, I wish.
We've also got a couple here. We have Surviving the Strange that says the joints reminds me of Jen stories, immediately followed by EDP giving me Jen vibes.
Maybe so. Switching gears real quick. Gerald Frey, hello. Just finished Monster on Morse Mountain, the hottest Bigfoot documentary of the year, ladies and gentlemen. Hottest Bigfoot documentary of the year. Monster on Morris Mountain. Brought to you by Small Town Monsters, starring me, Joe Doyle.
That's the greatest cinematographer in this world.
I'm barely in it at all. It was amazing. Any
'Cause he
plans
held
on a
the camera.
sequel? Yeah, we'll be back up. I don't know if we'll be doing a sequel to that officially. We will be back in the Uaris.
Yeah, we'll definitely go back up to the Uaris.
Looking into that same area and trying some other different stuff up there.
Huge congratulations to our boy MK Ultra on his
Yep.
mega cryptid hunting plus.
MK Ultra, if you guys haven't seen it, our buddy MK that was in the documentary with us has basically jumped in with both feet. He has got a school bus that he is in the process of renovating into being a cryptid and paranormal hunting mobile.
Yeah.
Kind of like the van in Scooby-Doo or the Winchester's car, the Impala.
Or Mike Green's.
Yeah, Mike Green's crazy, like macked out like thing. So he's macking out this bus to be an investigative, like mobile base.
Yeah.
So he is just pretty much just given up any pretense of having a normal life ever again and has just dived into it. So, anyway.
Trying to catch up with chat. I'm super behind, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I always hesitate to put it on slow mode. I'm never doing that because everybody has to get all their information out and all their thoughts need to go without wait.
Not today's on fire today. His comments are not being deleted by YouTube at a rapid pace. Jesse, be careful. He's talking about the helmet.
Yeah.
There's an aspect of the abyss stares back that people tend to gloss over. If it can stare back, it's sentient.
Ooh, that's kind
Yeah.
of freaks me out. That last little statement there. You don't really think about that.
Mm-hmm. Like when the military used the first night vision goggles, they saw demons flying at them. That's those red night vision goggles. And people can
It's
say
like a red phosphorus. or
yeah,
something
it's like
that.
but they're like red night vision instead of like the traditional green night vision. And people always say, oh, that's just an urban legend. That's just a story that got made up. I was barely aware of them, and I was on a because I was doing research into night vision devices. So I was on like a night vision forum, and dudes who were not really in the paranormal at all.
Was it dudes with
And when I
nightvision.com?
say at all, not into the paranormal at all, we're talking about seeing a pair of red night vision goggles get listed for sale
On
somewhere.
eBay?
I think it was eBay. And that the listing just got taken down like immediately and the account disappeared, everything like that. The guy's going, it's just like somebody came along and nuked it all. And then people were going, well, there's rumors that, this, that the original ones, they really make sure that those don't get out.
Cyanin goggles.
Yeah, that the cyanin goggles don't really do the same thing as these original
Cyanin.
red night vision goggles. And that, the rumor is that anytime one of them like rears its head, it gets snatched up with a quickness. And I'm going, these are not paranormal dudes talking about it. These are night vision enthusiasts talking about the fact that a pair of like legit red night vision goggles came up for sale and then just immediately disappeared from view. Didn't get bought, but the listing and the account just, so take that for what you will. I think something got developed back then, and I think there's a grain of truth to that story.
Joseph Elijah Cannon says, these discussions help everyone understand the shadows that we see.
Supal wants to know if we have trouble sleeping at night. I know normally we're exhausted. We just fall right to sleep, but we've had a lot going on with the weather and the roof.
I have trouble sleeping.
Jesse has trouble
I have flip-floppy schedules several days of the week. I get off work at 4 a.m. So
Jesse has crazy nightmares all the time.
And I have crazy nightmares. Yeah.
Crazy nightmares. We're going to kind of catch up in the chat here.
Yeah.
Jason Finch, our buddy Jason is here. What is up, Jason? Hope you're doing well, sir. Jason is a big fan of Hellbent Holler. Always talks very kindly about us.
Are you still looking for Indiana experiences?
I don't know. We were helping out a person.
That's still scrolling at the bottom. I just took it off there.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
I don't know if we
can't
are
hurt to pass them along. All right. Let's see what else we've got.
Where are
I think we need to do a show just on here's the deal though, is that we're all about like documentation and not just repeating campfire stories. And these things that we saw, these figures, we didn't get footage of them.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about it because that was that had a big impact on me seeing that thing. Because that's when I saw that thing move, I just went, we're outclassed here. We're outclassed here. We're fooling ourselves if we think we can like film them, and we're fooling ourselves if we think we're going to get out of these woods alive if they don't want us to. This is something so far beyond any human being, and you hear that bandied about sometimes, but seeing that thing move at the LBL and dip behind that building, I was just like, it brought home to, it's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to kind of just flat out see it in all of its unearthly glory and just go, we ain't catching that. And then, quite honestly, if it wants me dead right now, there ain't nothing I can do to it. I can't get my handgun out in time. I can't draw like a knife that quick. And even if I do, what am I going to do to this thing? This thing's like, it's might as well be like a T-Rex coming at me at this point. There's nothing I can be able to do to it. I ain't outrunning that. I'm not out fighting that. I'm not outsmarting that.
You're just a little worm on a hook.
A little worm on a hook. I'm a little worm on a big ass hook. I wonder if Goblin Warts would be, because Goblin Warts is in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
If they are familiar with Japanese ghost lore, because that fascinates the hell out of me. You know what I'm saying? Asian stuff like that is just next level. So, and actually, Half Inch Wrench crew, you and MK, y'all should trade some notes because Half Inch Wrench has got their ambulance. All right. But I was saying, I would like to do a show and talk about these things, especially since more people are having sightings. I don't want to minimize seeing these things because they're terrifying, but we didn't get footage of them. And now we're just another group of people.
So it's hard to kind of talk about it because it's like, all right, so say.
Why didn't you get footage of it? It's too fast. It's too fast. I was shocked when I saw it.
I included it in the videos where we had our experience. There were 3 experiences of us seeing them. I had 2, you had 1. I included those in the videos. I did not omit those from the videos because I think that they add to the investigation. They're part of the investigation. They're important to the investigation and the overall exploration of what is happening in the land between the lakes. I think they're important to that. That's why I kept them in. Yeah. But we don't talk about it much. We presented it to the audience. The audience can determine, these people are full of it, or these people actually saw something based on the reactions. But now with this Reddit post, I'm seeing that other people have experienced this and that there is a historical precedence for this. So that's my 2 cents. Rub them together.
Woof. All right.
Are you all right there?
Yeah, that's just weird that people are seeing these things, man.
Yep. I thought you want to see it again up on the stage. Boom! There it is.
I'm telling you, man. Even the way the chin goes up.
Everything. It's spot on. spot on.
Now the chin didn't have those little like barb things come off it, but it was up, and then the nose was thicker and curved down a bit.
But
the overall thing is
like a big thing here too is, you know, we saw these things in the land between the lakes. There was no ears like you got on that thermal. So it's not like, there's nothing canine about this thing in the slightest. Dogman or something like that. No, there's no way that is a defining feature of something like that. You have an upright canid, you're gonna have those ears like that. That's what we saw in the thermal. This is something completely different.
Well, we've said in the past, there ain't nothing Bigfoot like about these things. There's nothing canine about these things at all. And that's why I'm thinking that's why it's been difficult to talk about, because there's no real reports coming out of the LBL of something else. It's Dogman or Bigfoot. And then you have like paranormal, you know, weird lights, UFO stuff and everything like that. But there's never been like a third type of bipedal something there that matched up with what we've seen.
Yeah, I've never heard anything about that.
But maybe these things are completely not locked to a geographic location. Maybe they're just flittering in and out wherever they are at.
Maybe they can.
But we've seen them 3 times there,
maybe
man.
They can come through in these window areas. You know, you don't know. You're looking for.
And most of the people that are there, like really kind of like looking into weird stuff at the LBL, they're on the edges. They're on the fringes. You know what I'm saying? They're sitting around campfire, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we're on foot going into these areas. You know what I'm saying? You know, in times when there's not a lot of people around, you know, and it's just, I don't know, man. Maybe they're there more often. There's just nobody there to see them.
Let me get the link to this Reddit post, and I'll share it with you guys.
Don't chase this person off, though, before we can get in touch with them. Don't everybody act crazy.
Now, you guys, hold on. Copy link address.
The long black being.
All right, I'm going to put the link to that Reddit post in the chat so if you guys want to take a look at it. Of course, you get your regular Reddit responses in there, so grain of salt on that one. There is the link, right? Come on, baby. There it is. Yeah, if you guys want to go check out that post and take a look at that.
Grizz. Is this our boy Grizz?
Where?
I can't see I'm seeing the names with
yeah, I can't.
We're not seeing the regular names here at this point. Do you think all this weird intensified
No, we
energy?
are seeing the regular names. So we're back. We're not at the ats anymore.
So this is a different Grizz. Okay. So different Grizz. We got another Grizz. Do you think all this weird intensified energy has anything to do with what's hurtling at us in space? Is everything getting ready to come out of the cracks?
Oh God, I do not like that. No bueno.
Todd Downey, we believe you saw him. Jesse was sideways for 10 minutes. The first time we'll give a little backstory. We found that first abandoned tent. That was the very first one we found. And then we found what looked like a lot of times you will find these small groupings of stones, river rocks that are just set up right. And a lot of times they could be a slave cemetery. They could be a very impoverished, just rural family cemetery. It's there, but they look like headstones. A lot of times they're small, kind of private.
They're arranged
plots.
in a pattern.
So
you can.
We're there, and Jesse saw this thing, but I turned around, I didn't see anything there. And you see me in the video, just kind of like dismiss it. I'm just thinking maybe her eyes played a trick on her, or were.
That was also the moment of one of my best edits I've ever made.
So
I move and it's, but yes,
but
there is a reaction there, and I actually recreate how I saw moving. Like the movement of.
But I kind of like just try to calm her down because I didn't see anything there. I didn't think there was anything there.
You write it off as hysterical woman.
Just hysterical woman. Just another hysterical woman. We've all dealt with them, you know.
She goes again.
There she goes again. Just another hysterical woman.
Are you on your period or something?
Anyway, just calm down, little lady. Just calm down. But then I saw it later on run, or at least what I'm assuming it's the same damn thing. The way we describe it's similar. Running behind a building where we found those clothes. We found those boots and those jeans up near those old buildings. And I saw it. And then on a subsequent trip, we found that other abandoned tent. And then we found another grouping of stones that were upright in the ground that were suggestive of a small backwoods cemetery. And Jesse saw one of those things again, and it took the wind out of her. I mean, she literally like had a panic attack and just got against a tree and slid down, started crying. And I'm like, where did it go? Where did it go?
Todd's right. I was sideways for like 10 minutes.
And I ran to like where it was.
I couldn't breathe.
There was tracks of something in the ground. I can't swear. I don't know if that's what the tracks were for it, but I couldn't find anything, but I believe she saw it. I mean, because her face just sunk, and like, it's just like, you would think that after seeing it once, you'd be more prepared for it. No. Not the case in the slightest. I don't think there's any way to get prepared for these things.
And like I said, I've said this before. It's this like primal fear.
It's something that ain't supposed to be here. You were seeing like
what do you call it? A genetic memory?
You're seeing like another reality like intrude upon ours. You're just looking at something that ain't supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And it's not right that it's here, and it shouldn't be here. And it's just, that's the feeling that you get. You get I've gotten more of a visceral feeling off that thing, and I only saw it once. And quite honestly, if I never see it again, I'm totally cool with it.
Right.
I'm totally cool with it. And even after seeing those, we've never tried to investigate them. When we tried to go back where the second tent where Jesse had the freak out moment, we tried to go back that night to do a field investigation.
But it's awful strange that I'm sorry, go ahead. But I wanted to say it's awful strange. The locations in which we saw these things were locations where there's evidence that people went missing from those areas. It was the 2 tent locations and the location where we found the boots and the pants.
Yeah. But we couldn't get out of for the first time and the only time ever. We drove there. We were going to leave the car and then hike in. We couldn't make ourselves go. And Jesse starts crying in the car. Did you put that in the video?
No, I did not.
Were we filming that even?
No,
I don't think we were filming, but Jesse starts crying in the car because that was the tent where we found the children's clothes and items. And Jesse's like just going, we think those people were displaced because of the tornado that went through Kentucky before, and that they didn't have anywhere to go to. There was no support for them. And they basically got what they could out of their house and went there to kind of like, and they were back in off the woods so they wouldn't get hassled and chased out. And that seclusion, unfortunately, made them vulnerable to whatever happened. God, it's fucking grim. I'm sorry. It's grim to think about. I didn't mean to say that. Sorry. It's very emotional to think about it. But, Jesse is just, because again, at the same token, these are crazy stories, but these are real people being like affected by this.
This is real life.
This is real life, man. This is real life.
Fan fiction.
This isn't like people sitting around and we're talking about like, a Harry Potter type menagerie of creatures that's just all LARPing. This is real life. We found a tent with kids' clothes in it, and it looked like those people had gone missing. And Jesse just has this moment where she's going, these people they were put in such a bad position that this was their best option. To come into these like spooky woods.
Then this happened to them.
Then this happened to them, and there were children there, and she's just crying, and she's like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go in there. And I'm going, no, I think you're right. I don't think we need to go into these woods tonight, because there's a very good chance that even though we're willing to take a pretty decent amount of risk, these things, man, these quick things, these long black things that ain't something neither we nor anyone else is qualified to deal with. And when I say that, there's not a person walking this earth alive that's qualified to deal with these things. Yeah. I don't care what mumbo jumbo stuff people do about being in touch with it. These long black beings ain't anything that you are.
And I guess this all does tie you that you are out there. Your intention is going out there looking for maybe something that's flesh and blood, something that's like a creature that's living in the woods. And through the course of that, you kind of find something a little more paranormal, something more supernatural, something more ethereal, spiritual. And it starts to show you that you're not looking for anything that's just some creature in the woods. Well, you're looking for something beyond our understanding.
Well, it's Half-Inch Wrench is going, you know what? The movie Sketch that just hit theaters has creatures. Is there a movie called Sketch? Fantasy comedy. Is that it? Or is that another movie? I don't know. But anyway, I'm wondering if people have seen these things before because there are Bigfoot reports that talk about it being extremely,
Yeah, that they talk about what?
that they see very fast, blacker than black, very
Yeah.
quick, and they associate it. Maybe these things have been seen out there, and people think they're seeing Bigfoot because people are
We
so
discussed, like,
predisposed
the
to
misidentification thing, that if you only believe that one thing can exist, say you only believe, okay, there's only a possibility of a Dogman out here or a Bigfoot out here, then maybe you see things, or you see it in your peripherals, like we've seen these things, and like this lady is describing this, and you just automatically go to that, but that doesn't mean that's what you saw. You don't have proof of any of this. You didn't get a good look at it. You didn't get video of it. But maybe you've got misidentification going on all around, and that there's all these different things going on at the same time.
All right, hold on. So, a couple quick things that we're going to like leave out on. Half-inch wrench, the little girl's drawings come to life, and all the ones she did with the Sharpie looked just like what you described. And then Stitch Witch had just said the evil watchers, possibly. And then Bonnie Blue, the veil gets thinner the closer we get to Halloween. Sowing. That's the final harvest. There will likely be a lot of strange stuff queuing up.
Oof.
Oof. Well, we're here for it.
Hopefully it's not the final harvest.
We got the equipment. Not Today has gone from expounded upon forbidden science to
cat talk.
Cat talk. That's why we love them.
Way the Sploot says the night holds a lot. The veil is growing thinner.
Well, we're in for it, man.
And I think this is the perfect time for us to start doing the show from our haunted parlor.
Haunted parlor. So, well, we were talking the other day, that blood moon that just occurred seems like that is the opening thing to spooky season from now until spring gets really ramped up next year.
The indicator.
Yeah. So we're in it now. We're in it now. We need a good hard frost, and then we're out for it. So we're gonna wrap up here, y'all.
Yeah.
Bruce Beaver says, "Bring the skeleton." It's a metal skeleton.
It's a heavy skeleton. I was a big fan of Jason and the Argonauts. It's as soon as I saw the skeleton, I was like, "Oh my god!"
I'm gonna be outside all night tonight. Can't wait to see what happens. Keep us posted.
Nice. Yep.
So, we still need to do a list. If you guys have any, we wanted to do a call-in ghost story show, but the only problem is that some ghost stories are exciting to the person telling it and then boring to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? But we might just have to roll the dice one night, because I'm sure Stingray's ghost story is probably pretty damn hair-raising. Yeah. So anyway, we are wrapping it up.
Thank you guys for joining us for another rousing edition of Hellbent Live.
If you've had sightings or experiences with these long black,
pulling it up.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen anything,
the long
like
black
this,
being,
and this is for y'all who are not watching this live, too, anybody that watches us after the fact. If you've seen something like this, if you've experienced something like this, reach out to us and let us know. I'm curious now that I've seen this post here, and it's got my interest peaked.
Yeah.
If you've experienced something like this or seen something like this, email us and let us know, because I'm curious if anybody else has experienced something like this. Are there more of us who have experienced this out there? So that's what I want to know. Let me know that. That creepy ass thing. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us for another rousing edition of Hellbent Live from the haunted parlor. And we're going to be in the haunted parlor until we get the roof, the ceiling,
foreseeable future,
the floor fixed in the studio. So, welcome to the haunted parlor, I guess, for spooky season. So I guess it works out.
Yep.
But thank you guys. Thank you to everybody who super chatted tonight.
Yeah, we appreciate it. That was
you guys
not necessarily. We appreciate it.
Insanely badass. So that will hopefully get us back into the old studio. Hopefully the sound's good.
Hopefully the roof is going to be the expensive
looks
thing,
good.
So.
For the time being, but we're going to be doing this from the parlor for a little bit until we get that done. That's going to be a big old project.
Buddy Brian pops in at the last
Brian,
minute. What's up, Brian? So,
all right, guys. Want to thank you all for joining us again, and we're going to go eat some dinner.
Yeah.
Got some
And did
stuffed
Benita pop in
peppers.
at the end?
Who?
Thought Benita.
Stingray. My boy.
Stingray, my man. We love you, brother. So, all right, we're
King
out,
Jorgen.
folks. We're gonna leave on Stingray's generosity.
Yep.
He's a
All right,
beautiful,
guys.
beautiful human being. So
Take care of yourselves and take care of each other and avoid the inky, black, long black beings as they come for you in the night. Adieu.